Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Paint Along with Fred. And as you can see from this image that I have loaded in the trace bar, we will be trying to draw a sunset. You know, sunsets are extremely popular with everyone. I've noticed even kids actually first thing that comes to their mind is a sunset, and they have used Paintology to draw sunsets. So since it's a popular subject, I thought I would give you some of my experience in drawing sunsets, and especially with view to drawing it on Paintology. So let's go ahead and proceed. So as you can see from this image, there is a blue tone that goes dark at the top and then gradually goes down and diminishes in tone value down to the bottom. And then as you can see, landscapes, typically when you see a landscape, details are at the foreground, the images are sharper, more granular, and then they fade out to the distance, but not so much here because of the sea here. But you can see there's a straight horizon, but it gives a good impact on depth and perception. So to do this drawing, I would usually work from the back, which is the sun, and then work my way to the foreground. So first of all, I'll go down the slide bar and draw the actual shape, which is the horizon, and the foreground, the waves, and maybe a little bit of the clouds, just to give it an idea where they are in reference to the painting. Okay, so I will go select, let's go for land patch and keep this size, and then maybe, as I usually do, go for a darker grey black and white tone for the outline. So let's see what that looks like. Oops, still on the eraser, I don't know why. Okay, got that back. So maybe a tad smaller, increase that. Yeah, I think that looks good. So let's go halfway. So don't worry about drawing an exact line. Okay, and then let's do a little bit of clouds there. Clouds. I'm hoping that these reference areas will come up as I draw the background, so it doesn't get completely washed out, so I know roughly, but it's not a problem. I can all redo the clouds. And then we have this wave here, then another further wave here, and then the crashing waves on the beach, and this is some little bit of a mountainous patch, and this is like land as we know it here, and then here we have the sun. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, so we're going to draw that blue. So let's pick out the blue tone here using the color picker if you're not so sure. And then so you can see our colors are picked on that using the color picker. And then what I'll do is I'll increase, keeping to the, then go down, increase and go down. So you can see here. So let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so maybe I should increase that a little bit more. So as we, depending on the hardness settings, you can actually lower by going over. Okay. Okay, let's see if we got this right. Yes, the blue seems not too bad, although I think we can pick another blue tone using the color picker here. Try and use that. Okay, so let's see what you have. Yep, we have the color pickers there. So let's go ahead. Okay, so that'll do for now. Let's go back, and we have this sort of tinge around the sun, sort of orange tint. Let's use the color picker, go all the way to the top, get that color there, sort of a brownish hazy tinge. So let's get down and put that around there. I have no idea how this is going to turn up, but at least we can try, right? Okay, so you can see there. Don't think there should be any white, but we can come back to this, later on. But just to give it a bit, we can spread it out like this. Oh. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, we got another white tinge here, and we're going to pick that, and let's see what happens there. So you can see that's the orange tinge we saw. So if you look, it's got more vibrancy in there, so I may as well increase the hardness density a little bit more. Yep, that seems to do the work. Okay. So remember, with one pass, you shouldn't judge your painting on one pass. You should never do that. Okay, so now we have those darker tones in the horizon, you can see there. And then we start adding detail. Let me just go through that whole canvas. So we got the darker tones there. But before we do that, I noticed that the reflections of that orange is gone into that ocean. So I will continue using the brush tool I have and increase that, and then just go continue using that. Okay, all right, so now we could go again. Look at the reference, there's dark patches there. So again, I'm going to use the color picker and pick that color, so darkish brown, which is fine. And then remember to reduce it. Okay, if you think it's coming down too harsh, you can always reduce it through hardness density. That's the beauty of digital, is that you got such a degree of control. Okay. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so there's quite a bit of darkness here, so we should go and do that. So now I've got it halfway before previously. There's a little bit of darkness there, and then on the edges. Here we have the beach, and here at the foreground we're going to make it a little bit more darker. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's not too bad, although I can see that there is a lot more darkness. But before we do that, I do like this bright color here. You can see between the first wave, the front, second wave. So let's try and grab that color. Yep, it's like a golden color. And let's go ahead and fill that. Because it's so dense, so we could probably go. So that's, and then there's little bits of that gold going back into the foreground there. So there's gold here. And there's a lovely golden color there, and that this gives it like coming to the beach here. Let's see if we have any of that. Just no, I mean we do have some of that cloudy, that sort of reminiscence of the gold, but we won't go there just yet. Continue finishing the gold there. Okay, so now that we have that, let's take a look. Okay, so we have that. Now notice that there's lots of ripples. And there's quite ripples of the black, not so much the white, but sort of the black. So let's go ahead and pick this black here, that second wave. It's a very high toned color, so be careful when you put it down. And so as you can see, I'm going to bring that down more in terms of the density hardness. I work in unison the density and hardness. Okay, so this is so. Now we have a much more of a tone value, and as you can see, goes there. If I go over this, I could probably replicate what's there in the background. Okay, let's have a good look at that. Okay, so we have bits here that's dark, so we just might as well fill that in for now. And then here, it's a dark. Here, it's like really, so now that we're coming to the foreground, we can really take up the details a lot more, because the foreground images always give a sense of depth, because it's much more sharp and it's direct, close to you, which means details can be seen. So you can see I'm taking advantage of that knowledge And then this wave, as we know, is actually right near, closer to us than say this one. Yep. Here, same thing. We have, so here we have a little bit, so we could increase that density. And then we'll come back to it more, but okay, so now we have that. Let's go ahead and look at the image more carefully. We have a little bit of dark here. Don't overdo it. I feel I overdid that because we're carrying the dark that's at this level at the foreground here. So as you can see, I would just bring that down and work. Okay, work that way. Let's see what we're looking at. Yep. So there's like darker patches that runs across the ocean, which is what I'm doing right now. And obviously as you get back, we can go use the line tool, reduce the line tool. Yep, keep reducing it, and we can make the lines thinner. And then thicker as need be, because we're at the front. Just go over it again. Alright, I think we're good for now for the foreground. Now we're going to go work towards the back. So we got that lovely red horizon. So let's pick the red there, and put the red there, here. Then we're going to go here. Then we're going to just start drawing that red. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, not too bad. Although I think I could probably bring it tad down. Yeah, so we need to go here. Red. Oops. Put it back up again. It's lovely red color. And there's a red there. Then here, although not completely red, but you see my point there. That red seems to go gradually, so I'm going to try and bring down more the red, and then work gradually up, so mixing it in a way. That sort of mixes it in a way. Okay, so now we have that. Let's see what the sky looks. There's a bright white there, which I won't work on yet. We got the lights. Now we can get the clouds. Let's get the clouds going. Alright, so this is the orange cloud. So let's pick the color picker again. So we got a nice orange there. And let's go there. And now that's why we're useful to have this reference for the clouds. We know the base of the clouds have that lovely orange. So remember, I took down the density hardness quite a bit. So let me take that, bring that down again. Okay, don't worry about the details yet. Okay, let's see. Let's continue looking at the cloud. Yeah, so it's like here, here. So I'm just putting down some reference for me to work on without keeping switching back and forth, you know. So yeah, so let's go there. So it's sort of red, as you can see, the cloud, and grayish. Let's put down the grayish. Although I can see that these have got higher densities, so I may need to take it all the way up. Take it all the way up, because they're quite heavy in its tone. So that's what I'm doing now, so they stand out as though they are floating in the sky. So now we can see got the gray here, so we don't have to pick the gray, but we'll try. There we got the gray. Now remember, the gray is quite a hard color, so if I continue using the same density hardness, it would probably be overpowering. But let me try anyway. So here I can reduce it and give it a scribble it on, basically to give some kind of a cloudy type look to the whole thing. Okay. I can never know when kind of drawing that you'll end up with, but you just keep doing it until you feel you're satisfied. Yeah. Okay, well, this cloud sort of look okay, but I think we could make it better by adding more fluff, you know, taking away some of the hardness. We can go even more white anywhere you think. That maybe it's a little too overpowering. So again, let's see if we can, yeah, and then we can go and continue at the color picker and pick the red that we had before. Okay. Alright, I think so. Now we could probably have a grey that I was using earlier. No, there's not that grey I'm looking for. So let's go on the grey side and see if I could sort of add more. Let's go on brown, sorry, grey. Let's see. Still going, let's go for the hardness. Okay, that seems to do a little bit. Yeah, but don't be afraid to go on the dark again. And then of course you can always use the color there. So I think that's okay. I'm trying hard to make the clouds look better than what it is, but you know, it's all about time. So you can see there we have the white there. So I think what we can do is go straight ahead and pick the white. Okay, make sure you save your work in case something happens, like power goes down. So now that we have that, let's go down here and see if we can okay, so no, so you know you could, because it's the white there, you can add a little bit, give a bit more depth. Why not, right? Okay, so now we have, so now let's see what the looks like. Yep, it looks like as I am doing it. And let's look at that. And then there is very little, like a, alright, and then you can see there's a dark red band that follows this sort of line there, the horizontal line, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so it's okay, not too bad, although the clouds could have been better. I think it's all down to the background, but let's finish off with the foreground now. Okay, so get dark here, so I'm just going to use my eyes and oops, okay, so can mix it up with a little bit of grey, a bit of bring it down, use a little bit Okay, then maybe use this. Okay, just to add an effect to it. Now let's go back to dark and do the outlines. So you can see it does have an effect. Then we could even use the tone. Now I can have a little bit more fun with this white here. So we'll bring some of that white that we did here and just use as a the splashing. And go up. And then equally I could go on the dark, just give. Okay, so I think we are sort of good. I don't know if you prefer that or not, but alright, so there we have it, and I think we can keep on improving it, but just wanted to show you how you could use your eyes and use the tools to do some sort of interesting drawing, interesting effects, like I've tried to do here. Then as you get better, you're going to find more, you'll be able to make more realistic drawing. Okay, thank you again, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye bye.